All praises, honor, and glory goes on to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace and many blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel, men, women, and children. Shalom. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 7. And Lord, one of these lessons is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, you are the true Hebrew Israelites. All right. 2nd Ezra 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right. So we're coming into the end of Esau's age. His current rulership. Okay, and that's all I want to touch upon through the Spirit. And what inspired me to do this lesson, I was watching Apostle Tahar. He did a premiere earlier today, and he mentioned a reversal of power. And I was thinking about 2nd Ezra 6, like I just read. I got a couple of precepts that I want to touch upon, just dealing with this topic. Because us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're at the bottom. We're afflicted, we're oppressed, downtrodden, right, scattered amongst the heathen. We're surrounded by wickedness every single day. But it will all change when Yahweh Shai comes back and destroy Esau's empire. And we see Esau's being exposed on a high level, and that includes the tiny tops that's over there in our land, or we like to call them 1948ers, the small hatters. So, scriptures say he will be revealed. The wicked shall be revealed in this time, as the Apostle Paul mentioned in 2nd Thessalonians chapter 2. So prophecy is playing out, and we're drawing closer and closer to Yahweh Shai returning. Let's just get these precepts. Like it's going to be a quick hitter. The second slug, Amos chapter 9. Actually, matter of fact, yeah, I'll read Amos 9. This is Amos chapter 9 verse 8. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord power are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, save the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And that sinful kingdom is referring to America, Babylon the Great. Okay, it will be destroyed. And we always speak on it because that's prophecy. Revelation 17, Revelation 18, Isaiah 13, Isaiah 34, Jeremiah 50 and 51, right? Amongst other precepts. Psalms, I believe, is 130, 137. So yeah, This is the sinful kingdom, right? Which is America, Babylon the Great, and it will be wiped out. And then it says, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord, right? Because there's a remnant of Israelites that will be saved, that will get beamed up into what they call a so-called UFO or UAP. But we know them to be the chariots of Israel. I believe it's 2 Kings, when Elijah got taken up in a whirlwind, and Elisha called it the chariot of Israel. And they're going to beam up Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, but also the Israelites that are scattered. What's that? Matthew 24. The angels shall gather the elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth to the other. So that's what the Lord's going to do. Okay, he's going to destroy, annihilate, but he's also going to gather the chosen elect, which, Lord willing, we be saved. We know we're part of that number. Amos 9 in verse 9, it says, Amos 9 and 9, for lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. Like as corn is sifted in the sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Because we've been scattered into all the nations. You have Israelites that look like so-called Chinese, so-called Japanese, so-called Africans, so-called Europeans, so-called Indians, right? Pakistan, right? The Lord is going to deliver the Israelites from all these lands that we've been scattered into. And that's in Jeremiah chapter 16. Verse 10, Amos 9 and 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And this is, of course, going into the 2/3 of our people that don't want to repent and don't want to accept this truth. The scriptures talk about the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. And they didn't take heed to it. So they're going to die on this side. They're going to die grievous deaths. But they're going to be brought back into the kingdom through the elect that do make it. Verse 11, Amos 9:11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. The tabernacle of David, which represent the elect. All right, the tabernacle of David, which, like I said, Lord willing, we're of that number, but this was being built. Okay, scriptures talk about the Lord dwelling not in temples made with hands. So we're that third temple. All right, it's a spiritual temple that's being built. And you see the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom are being united, but it starts with the elect. Okay, that's what's being built up in these last days. Verse 12, it says that they may possess the remnant of Edom and of all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed, and the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. and we are the plowman. Esau's the reaper. Okay, we out there working 9 to 5 jobs. Meanwhile, the wicked elites, they don't work. Okay, they don't got to worry about waking up early in the morning, going to the plantation, right? Because they rule over everything. Okay, that's why it talks about they're not in trouble like other men. Neither are they plagued like other men. Right? But it's going to be a reversal of power. Right? Because they're going to be at the bottom and we're going to be at the top. We're going to be the head and they're going to be the tail. Verse 14, it says, "And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel," the Israelites. And we're still in captivity to this very day, man. We're subject to payments. That's in the book of Baruch. And also it says that we're going to go to the enemies for the one of all things. We're a proverb and a byword amongst all nations. So we're looked down upon. And also scriptures talk about we're going to get praise and fame in every land. We've been put to shame, roughly paraphrasing. So all that's coming to the nation of Israel. Okay? Verse 14, "And I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof. They shall also make gardens and eat the fruit of it. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall see no more. And they shall no more be pulled up out of their land, which I have given them, saith the Lord thy power." Okay? So we're not going to be plucked up out of our land like we did, because of course we're not in our land right now. We've been kicked out of the land. We've been plucked out of our land. And we've been scattered amongst all the nations. All right? But now we're going to go back to the land, which is the land of Israel. And we're never going to be scattered. We're never going to go into captivity ever again. This is Luke chapter 16. And this is a parable about the rich man and Lazarus. So there's Luke chapter 16 and verse 19. "There was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day." And this is definitely Esau. He's living deliciously, sumptuously every single day. Okay? Every day. Meanwhile, us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all we get is breadcrumbs. Right? Living from paycheck to paycheck, barely surviving. Okay, and of course, you've got the lower Edomites and heathens. They're pretty much going through the same thing too. Okay, but the Edomite, okay, starting with the elites, okay, they're living deliciously. All right, but again, it's going to be a reversal of power. Verse 20, it says, "And there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores." All right, the dogs going into the other heathen nations. All right. They're like unto dogs. All right. Verse 22. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And this is not talking about a place where you're burning for eternity. Okay, I know Christians, these wacky tacky Christians like to say this is that's talking about actual place where you're burning, and this is not what it's talking about. But let's keep reading. Verse 24, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime receivest thy good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented. So it will be reversed. Just like us Israelites, because the Israelites represent Lazarus. All right? But the elect specifically. Okay, and the rich man represents Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. There will be a reversal of power. Verse 26, and besides all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that will come from thence. All right? So yeah, it's going to be a time where the so-called white man who once ruled over the planet Earth, they're not going to stay in rulership for long because his time is short. And he will be at the bottom, and he's going to serve us for a rough 1,000 years. And of course, we always refer to Obadiah 1 and 18 on how he's going to be completely annihilated after he serves 1,000 years. And he's not going to be thought of. All right? We're not going to take thought about this devil, man. And that will be a great day for us. We're not going to see a single Edomite in sight. So this is the future. But, just want to get into that real briefly. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. All praises, honor, and glory goes on to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, or Kakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace and many blessings all to the elect of the nation of Israel, men, women, and children. Shalom.